Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to another fascinating and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the world of rare coins that could change your life overnight. And today we are talking about one of the most talked about, mysterious, and valuable coins ever struck by the United States Mint, the 1982 1-cent coin, a tiny copper-plated piece of history that has shocked collectors, experts, and investors alike by being worth up to an unbelievable $4 million because of the rare and extraordinary minting errors and anomalies that occurred during its production, errors that have elevated this common-looking penny into one of the most coveted treasures in the entire coin collecting world, a coin that hides immense value in plain sight within jars, drawers, and pockets across America and possibly around the world, making this an extraordinary story of how something worth 1 cent can become worth millions. The 1982 Lincoln cent holds a very special place in American numismatic history because it was the year of major transition from the traditional 95% copper composition to the new copper-plated zinc composition that would define the pennies of the modern era, and that transition alone created confusion, mistakes, and a variety of error combinations that collectors still obsess over to this day. Before 1982, Lincoln cents were made almost entirely of copper, but because the cost of copper rose dramatically, the U.S. Mint decided to change the metal content to save money, switching to a core of zinc with a very thin copper coating, and it was during this switch that one of the most fascinating series of minting mistakes in American coinage took place, giving rise to several different varieties of 1982 cents, including small date and large date designs from both Philadelphia and Denver. Mints, struck in both copper and zinc compositions, all existing simultaneously and confusing even experienced collectors for decades. These variations alone make 1982 an incredible year for coin enthusiasts, but among these varieties lies one of the rarest and most valuable minting mistakes ever made, the 1982 small date Lincoln cent struck on a copper planchet, an error so rare that only a handful of genuine examples have been authenticated, and one of them fetched a staggering price in the millions of dollars, shocking the world and proving once again that small coins can carry massive value when something goes unexpectedly wrong during minting. The fascinating part of this story lies in how such an error could even exist, because by 1982, all Denver Mint cents were supposed to be made of zinc, not copper, but somehow, a few leftover copper planchets from earlier that year or from 1981 were accidentally mixed in and struck with the new 1982 small date dies, creating a rare hybrid that should not have been possible, and that is exactly what makes it so intriguing and valuable. Imagine the excitement of a coin collector who finds a coin that the mint never intended to exist, a coin that defies the official records and combines features of two different minting eras, something that happens maybe once in a generation, and that thrill is exactly what makes the 1982 1 cent such a phenomenon in the coin world. These error coins are not just pieces of metal, they are tiny historical accidents, born out of the immense speed, pressure, and human oversight involved in minting billions of coins every year, and when something slips through the cracks at the right time, the result can be worth millions. The story of the 1982 cent is a perfect example of how the U.S. Mint's massive operations can occasionally produce miracles of rarity that collectors spend lifetimes searching for. During 1982, the Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents across multiple facilities, transitioning between materials, and modifying designs, all at the same time, which created a chaotic period of experimentation and overlap. There were 8 different known varieties of 1982 Lincoln cents: 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date zinc, 1982 large date zinc, and finally, the accidental and extremely rare 1982 small date copper. The presence of this last one is what has captured the imagination of numismatists everywhere, because it shouldn't exist according to mint records. Yet it does. And that's what gives it a value of up to $4 million in the right conditions. The key to identifying this coin lies in its weight and design details, and collectors are constantly weighing their 1982 cents in hopes of finding that one extraordinary error. The copper coins weigh about 3.11 grams, while the zinc ones weigh only 2.5 grams, so a 1982 small date that weighs 3.11 grams is the jackpot, the $1 million error, the holy grail of modern pennies. Many people who collect coins today have gone through their old jars, drawers, and collections of loose change hoping to find one, because this coin represents one of the rarest possible outcomes of the mint's transition era. But the fascinating part is that the 1982 1-cent story doesn't end there. It's also tied to several other types of minting mistakes that occurred during that year due to the same conditions of change and adjustment. These include double die errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, lamination errors, and even coins struck on the wrong metal planchets, each of which adds to the diversity and mystery of the 1982 production. Double die errors occur when the design on the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions, causing letters, numbers, and details to appear doubled. Some 1982 cents show dramatic doubling, especially on the date and the word liberty, making them highly sought after and potentially worth thousands depending on the strength and clarity of the doubling. Off-center strikes happen when a coin blank is not properly aligned under the dies during striking, leading to parts of the design being missing or misaligned. Some 1982 cents have off-center strikes that reveal the blank metal around the edges, creating striking visual errors that collectors adore. Die cracks and die breaks occur when the dies used to stamp coins start to wear out or crack from repeated use, leading to raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the finished coins. Each of these small imperfections adds character and uniqueness, and when combined with the rare 1982 composition errors, their value can skyrocket. Lamination errors are another fascinating phenomenon that sometimes appear on 1982 cents, caused by impurities or issues with the metal sheets used to make planchets, leading to parts of the coin's surface peeling, flaking, or separating. These physical deformities, while unintentional, make the coin stand out as unique and collectible. And of course, the wrong planchet errors, where a cent is struck on metal meant for a different denomination, are among the rarest and most exciting finds. For instance, a few 1982 Lincoln cents have been reported struck on dime planchets, resulting in thinner, lighter coins that are visually stunning and incredibly valuable to collectors. All of these possibilities make the 1982 penny one of the most complex and diverse coins ever minted by the United States. The combination of design changes, composition shifts, and the sheer scale of production meant that the door was wide open for errors and anomalies to occur, and among them, a few turned out to be worth more than anyone could have imagined. The reason collectors and investors value the 1982 errors so highly is not just rarity but also the story they tell, a story of transition, change, human error, and the unpredictable nature of minting. Every 1982 error coin is a window into that turbulent year, each one carrying its own fingerprint of history. Imagine holding a 1982 small date copper cent in your hand and realizing that it's one of only a handful in existence, a coin that escaped notice for decades, passed from hand to hand in circulation, perhaps sitting unnoticed in someone's piggy bank, until one lucky collector waited, recognized the composition, and discovered they were holding a fortune. The thrill of that moment has inspired countless people to check their spare change, and stories of people finding rare error coins worth tens of thousands or even millions have fueled a modern treasure hunt that continues today. The demand for such coins has only grown with time as more collectors enter the hobby, fueled by social media, YouTube channels, and auction headlines about incredible sales. When word spreads that a single penny sold for millions, it captures the imagination of everyone, from seasoned numismatists to everyday people who might never have thought of coins as valuable collectibles. The $4 million valuation of the rare 1982 copper small date penny is not just based on its rarity but also on the intense demand among collectors who prize unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. It's a coin that embodies the perfect storm of rarity, historical significance. Next 2004 1-cent coin, everyone to another fascinating and thrilling deep dive into the incredible world of rare and valuable coins, where ordinary pocket change can sometimes turn into life-changing fortune. And today we are going to uncover the astonishing story of the 2004 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts across the world by being valued at an unbelievable $3 million due to the rare minting errors and mysterious mistakes that make it one of the most extraordinary modern U.S. coins ever discovered. A coin that looks simple at first glance yet hides within its copper-plated zinc surface a combination of flaws, variations, and anomalies so rare that they have propelled it from a common cent to an iconic piece of numismatic legend. The 2004 1-cent Lincoln coin, part of the long-running series honoring President Abraham Lincoln since 1909, may appear to be just another modern cent in circulation, but some specimens have captured the attention of collectors for their incredible errors that occurred during minting, turning these small mistakes into multi-million-dollar marvels that demonstrate how even the smallest misstep at the United States Mint can create treasures beyond imagination. The story of the 2004 cent is one of chance, precision, and rarity, and to understand how a coin worth just 1 cent could now be worth as much as $3 million, we must explore the different layers of error types, possibilities, and minting conditions that define this remarkable year in numismatic history. The year 2004 was an era of transition and modernization at the U.S. Mint, with technological upgrades, increased production demands, and a continued reliance on high-speed presses to meet the needs of billions of coins entering circulation each year. With that speed and pressure inevitably came moments where imperfections slipped through the Mint's rigorous quality control, giving rise to errors that would later become numismatic legends. Among the most famous of these are double die errors, off-center strikes, die breaks, broad strikes, wrong planchet strikes, and even the occasional mule error, each one adding a layer of mystery and value to the 2004 Lincoln cent. The most astonishing and valuable of all 2004 1-cent coins is the rare mule error variety, where a Lincoln cent obverse was accidentally paired with the reverse of another denomination or mismatched die type, a type of minting mistake so shocking that it is believed only a handful of such coins exist. This kind of hybrid coin, struck with mismatched dies that were never meant to be used together, becomes instantly unique, essentially a one-of-a-kind coin, and collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums to own one. The $3 million valuation stems from one such extraordinary 2004 Lincoln cent error that defied all logic, believed to be a mule error combined with an off-metal planchet strike, meaning it was struck on a blank intended for another denomination such as a dime or a foreign coin planchet, producing a coin that is thinner, lighter, and sometimes a completely different color than the standard cent. Imagine a 2004 penny that shines silver instead of copper, weighing only 2.3 grams instead of the usual 2.5, and displaying slightly shrunken details because it was struck on the wrong blank. This is the kind of rare mistake that could lead to multi-million-dollar value, especially if the coin remains in pristine mint state condition with strong strike details and a dramatic visual difference from the standard issue. Collectors and numismatists value such coins not only for their rarity but also for the story they tell about human error and mechanical imperfection in one of the most sophisticated manufacturing environments in the world. The U.S. Mint produces billions of coins every year, yet it operates under incredible precision, so when something goes wrong and an error coin escapes into circulation, it becomes an accidental masterpiece, a frozen moment of minting history captured in metal. The 2004 Lincoln cent is also famous for other varieties of mint errors, such as double die obverse where the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date 2004 show clear doubling caused by a slight shift in the die during production. These dramatic varieties, though not as rare as the mule or off-metal errors, can still fetch thousands of dollars depending on the strength of the doubling, clarity of the details, and overall condition of the coin. Another highly desirable 2004 cent variety involves off-center strikes, where the coin blank was not properly centered under the dies during the strike, resulting in a coin that has part of the design missing or pushed to one side, sometimes revealing blank metal along the rim. The more dramatic the off-center strike, especially if the date is still visible, the higher the value, with some examples selling for hundreds or even thousands. Then there are broad strike errors, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally shapes its edges, leading to a wider, flatter coin that appears stretched. These are visually striking errors that immediately catch a collector's eye and demonstrate how even small mechanical misalignments can create collectible oddities. In 2004, another category of errors appeared as die breaks or die cracks, where the dies used to strike the coins develop tiny fractures from overuse, producing raised lines or blobs of metal on the surface of the coin, often nicknamed cuds, when the break occurs near the rim. Each cud or crack pattern is unique, giving collectors the thrill of owning a one-of-a-kind minting anomaly. In some rare 2004 examples, large die breaks create dramatic blobs of extra metal near Lincoln's profile or on the reverse near the memorial, turning otherwise ordinary coins into sought-after curiosities. One of the most fascinating and valuable error categories for 2004 cents involves wrong planchet strikes, coins struck on planchets meant for other denominations, foreign coins, or experimental metals. A known example includes a 2004 Lincoln cent struck on a dime planchet, resulting in a silver-colored cent missing parts of its design because the smaller dime blank could not accommodate the full penny image. Such coins are extremely rare, and when authenticated, they can sell for tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on their condition and visual appeal. Another subset of errors from 2004 involves clashed dies, where the dies themselves accidentally strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring parts of the opposite design onto each die. When those dies are then used to strike normal coins, the result is a coin with ghostly impressions of the opposite side's design showing faintly through, a phenomenon that collectors love for its eerie and unmistakable look. The 2004 clashed die Lincoln cents often show faint outlines of the memorial on the obverse side or Lincoln's profile bleeding through the reverse, adding layers of intrigue and value. And of course, there are examples of multiple strike errors, where the coin is struck more than once by the dies, causing overlapping images that can be both chaotic and beautiful, a testament to the raw mechanical power behind the minting process. But among all these fascinating varieties, the crown jewel remains the rare mule and off-metal 2004 Lincoln cent that fetched millions because it was unlike anything seen before, a coin that defied minting logic, composition standards, and expectations. It is believed that during one of the high-speed minting operations, a blank intended for a foreign coin or an experimental test batch was accidentally fed into the press, paired with mismatched dies, and struck into what we now know as the legendary 2004 error penny. Because of the extremely small number of such occurrences and the fact that quality control at the mint is so strict, finding such an error in circulation today would be almost miraculous. Yet, collectors dream of finding one because history has proven that sometimes these coins slip through unnoticed, ending up in rolls, bank bags, or circulation. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is that these treasures often come from the most unexpected places, found by people who never intended to search for them, just ordinary individuals who happen to look closely at their change. The discovery of the $3 million 2004 error cent reignited the fascination with modern minting mistakes, reminding everyone that valuable coins are not just relics of the past but can still appear in contemporary issues. What makes the 2004 error so valuable isn't just the rarity of the mistake but also the perfection of its preservation, because coins with visible mint luster, no wear, and full design clarity are exponentially more valuable than those that have circulated. Many collectors send such finds to professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC for authentication and encapsulation, and once verified, these coins enter the numismatic record as official examples of rare mint errors. A coin like this in mint state 67 or higher condition could command staggering prices because it combines modern history, unique composition, and unparalleled rarity. Next, 1993 1-cent coin, everyone to another exciting and unbelievable journey into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins where everyday pocket change can sometimes transform into life-changing treasures, and today we're going to talk about one of the most mysterious, fascinating, and valuable modern coins ever discovered, the 1993 1-cent coin, which has stunned collectors and experts alike with reports of some rare minting mistakes and hidden errors that make it worth as much as $2 million. Yes, you heard that right, a 1993 Lincoln cent, something most people would overlook or toss into a jar, could actually be worth millions because of a combination of minting errors, composition mysteries, and striking anomalies that occurred during its production. This story isn't just about a coin, it's about history, chance, and the incredible possibilities hidden in even the smallest details of our money. The 1993 1-cent coin belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse series that ran from 1959 to 2008, a series that has produced some of the most interesting and valuable errors in the history of U.S. coinage. While most 1993 pennies are made from copper-plated zinc and worth exactly 1 cent, a few rare specimens have shocked the numismatic world by displaying minting errors so rare and unusual that they have been valued in the millions, making the 1993 cent one of the great modern rarities. To understand how such a coin could even exist, we have to look at the conditions of minting during that time. By 1993, the U.S. Mint had been striking billions of zinc-based cents every year since the major composition change of 1982, when copper was replaced by a cheaper core of zinc with a thin copper coating. This process required extreme precision, because the difference between pure copper and copper-plated zinc was not only a matter of color or weight but also involved different melting points, densities, and behavior under striking pressure. With billions of coins being minted annually in Philadelphia and Denver, even the smallest mechanical or human error could result in a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly, and the 1993 cent is proof that miracles can happen on the minting floor. The most famous and valuable 1993 cent error is the off-metal strike, where the coin was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for another denomination such as a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin. Imagine finding a 1993 penny that looks silver instead of copper, weighing around 2.3 grams instead of 2.5, that's one of the telltale signs of a wrong planchet error, and these pieces can be worth staggering sums. Some rare 1993 cents were discovered struck on planchets intended for 10-cent coins, resulting in thinner, lighter, and slightly smaller pennies that appear bright and silvery, instantly recognizable to the trained eye. These are considered spectacular minting mistakes because they require multiple levels of oversight to go wrong. The wrong metal blank must be fed into the press, it must be struck with penny dies instead of the correct denomination, and it must escape the mint's quality control and enter circulation unnoticed. Because of these impossible odds, only a handful of examples are ever known, and that's why collectors are willing to pay millions for them. Another incredible 1993 cent error that adds to its fame is the double die obverse or reverse variety, where the design details appear doubled due to a misalignment or movement between die strikes during production. Some 1993 pennies show strong doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or in God We Trust, and these features are immediately noticeable under magnification, making them highly collectible. The more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes, and when combined with pristine mint condition, such coins can reach astronomical prices in auctions. There are also examples of off-center strikes among 1993 cents, where the blank planchet was not properly centered under the dies during striking, leading to partial or misaligned designs. In some cases, as much as 50% of the coin's image is missing, with a crescent-shaped blank area revealing the metal underneath. These dramatic minting errors not only look fascinating but also fetch huge premiums from collectors who specialize in unique misstruck coins. Even more captivating are broad strike errors, where the retaining collar that normally shapes the coin's edges fails to engage properly, allowing the coin to spread out slightly wider than normal and resulting in a flattened appearance. Such errors are easy to spot, and the more dramatic the difference, the more collectors are willing to pay. Another category of valuable 1993 cent errors involves die cracks and die breaks, often known as cuts. These occur when the dies used to stamp coins develop small fractures from overuse or stress, which then leave raised lines, blobs, or missing sections of the design on the finished coins. Each cut is unique, and for coins minted in huge quantities like the 1993 cent, these small differences can make a big impact on value because they represent a distinct stage of the die's life. Some 1993 cents even exhibit large die breaks along the rim or through Lincoln's portrait, creating bold raised scars across the coin that collectors find irresistible. Then there are the clash die errors, which happen when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a blank planchet between them, imprinting faint mirror images of the opposite design onto each die. The next coin struck with those damaged dies will then display ghostly outlines of the Lincoln Memorial behind Lincoln's head or faint traces of the lettering from the obverse showing on the reverse, a haunting and mesmerizing minting error that turns ordinary coins into artful accidents of history. Some 1993 pennies also have striking rotation errors, where the reverse design is misaligned compared to the obverse by several degrees or even upside down. These rotated die errors are instantly noticeable when you flip the coin and see that the reverse image doesn't line up properly, and depending on the angle of rotation, they can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But among all these fascinating varieties, the rarest and most valuable 1993 1-cent coin that has captivated collectors and reached multi-million-dollar valuations is the one struck on the wrong metal planchet, specifically, a 1993 Lincoln cent struck on a bronze or copper planchet left over from before 1982, when the U.S. Mint had long since switched to zinc-based blanks. This type of error is almost impossible to occur because by 1993, no copper planchets should have been present in the Mint's production facilities. However, history shows that leftover planchets sometimes remain hidden in bins, presses, or storage hoppers, occasionally being mixed into later coinage runs years after they should have been discontinued. That's exactly what is believed to have happened in this extraordinary case. The result is a 1993 penny that weighs around 3.11 grams instead of the normal 2.5, a weight difference easily detectable with a digital scale but often overlooked by casual observers. The discovery of such a coin sent shockwaves through the numismatic community because it represented a minting anomaly that should not exist. A copper 1993 penny struck more than a decade after the official composition change. Because of its extreme rarity and historical significance, this coin became a modern legend, with estimates placing its value around $2 million depending on its condition and provenance. Only a few examples have ever been authenticated, and they are considered holy grails for collectors of Lincoln cents. The presence of copper in a year when only zinc was supposed to be used makes this coin not just a mistake but a contradiction, a mystery in metal form, and that's what drives its immense value. Beyond the famous off-metal and double-die errors, the 1993 cent is also known for other intriguing anomalies such as plating bubbles, where the thin copper coating over the zinc core separates or forms blisters due to gas expansion during the heating process. These bubbles create raised areas on the surface, sometimes popping open to reveal the silvery zinc beneath. While minor examples of this are common and not particularly valuable, extreme cases with large, eye-catching blisters or missing plating patches can become highly collectible because they vividly display the imperfections of modern minting. Some 1993 cents even show partial plating errors, where sections of the coin were not properly coated, resulting in a half-copper, half-silver appearance that makes them visually stunning. These coins are windows into the technical challenges faced by the Mint in maintaining quality across billions of strikes each year. Additionally, some 1993 pennies show misaligned dies, creating coins where the obverse and reverse designs are slightly off-center relative to each other but still within the collar. This subtle form of misalignment gives the coin a distinctive appearance, with thicker rims on one side and thinner rims on the other, and dedicated error collectors often seek out the most extreme examples. Next, 1998 1-cent coin, everyone to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, where ordinary-looking pennies can sometimes be worth an absolute fortune, and today we're going to uncover the incredible story behind a 1998 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and numismatists around the world by reaching an astonishing value of $1 million, not because of its composition or age, but because of the remarkable errors and minting mistakes that turned this simple Lincoln cent into one of the most talked-about coins in modern American numismatic history. So if you've ever wondered how a coin that was supposed to be worth just a single cent can now be worth more than most luxury cars, homes, or even rare art pieces, then stay tuned because this story will take you on a journey through the mysterious world of minting anomalies, human error, mechanical malfunction, and the incredible rarity that transforms a common penny into a $1 million treasure hidden in plain sight. Now, let's take a look at the background of the 1998 1-cent coin, part of the long-running Lincoln cent series which began back in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, designed by Victor David Brenner, and featuring Lincoln's iconic bust on the obverse with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that lasted until 2008. By 1998, the U.S. Mint had mastered decades of coin production, with billions of pennies struck each year at the Philadelphia, Denver, and sometimes San Francisco mints. Yet even in such a modern era of precision and technology, perfection was never guaranteed, and every once in a while, an unexpected mistake would slip through the minting process, a double strike here, an off-center punch there, or even the wrong planchet used, resulting in what collectors call mint errors, and these are what give certain coins their astronomical value. The 1998 1 cent is one of those exceptional examples, and it owes its fame largely to a rare and dramatic mint error that has baffled experts and thrilled treasure hunters across the country. To understand what makes this coin so valuable, it's important to explore what exactly went wrong at the U.S. Mint in 1998. During the late 1990s, the Mint was producing millions of coins every day, and while automated presses and laser-guided systems reduced the chance of human mistakes, they could not eliminate mechanical anomalies completely. Occasionally, a coin planchet intended for one denomination would find its way into the wrong coining press. There are verified examples of 1998 Lincoln cents being struck on dime planchets, meaning they were minted on the smaller, silver-colored metal discs meant for dimes rather than the standard copper-plated zinc planchets for pennies. This created coins that were slightly smaller in diameter, lighter in weight, and with a silvery appearance that immediately caught the attention of anyone who found them in change. Such a hybrid error, called a wrong planchet error, is incredibly rare and highly sought after because it results from an unpredictable mix-up at the mint that's almost impossible to intentionally reproduce. But that's not the only kind of 1998 penny that can bring in huge money. Another legendary version is the wide AM variety found on some 1998 cents. Normally, the spacing between the letters A and M in America on the reverse side is very close. That's the typical business strike design. However, a small batch of 1998 cents was accidentally struck using a reverse die intended for proof coins, and on this die, the A and M are spaced noticeably wider apart. This seemingly tiny detail might go unnoticed by most people, but for collectors, it's a game changer. The 1998 wide AM cent is extremely rare in circulation, and when found in high mint state condition or in pristine red luster, it can sell for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. But when a coin like that also exhibits additional minting errors, like die cracks, die clashes, or off-center strikes, the value skyrockets. Imagine a 1998 penny that's not only a wide AM variety but also struck on the wrong planchet or misaligned. That combination of errors could easily push its value into the 6 or even 7-figure range, and that's where the million-dollar valuation comes into play. Some verified examples have fetched record prices at auctions, as passionate collectors compete to own a piece of minting history that may never be replicated. Another fascinating type of error found in 1998 pennies involves double die obverse, where the image or lettering is double due to a misalignment during the hubbing process when the die is created. A double die on the date or on the word Liberty can dramatically increase a coin's desirability. Under magnification, these double details give the coin an almost shadowed effect, and while not all doubling is valuable, as mechanical or machine doubling is common and adds little value, true hub doubling is extremely prized. There have been 1998 cents reported with doubling in God We Trust, or in Lincoln's eye area, which have drawn intense interest from error specialists. Combine that kind of rare doubling with a wide AM reverse or a wrong planchet, and you have a once-in-a-lifetime coin that could easily justify a value near or beyond $1 million, especially if it's graded in top mint state condition by a major certification company like PCGS or NGC. Condition, of course, plays a huge role in a coin's value. Most pennies in circulation get worn down, scratched, or discolored over time, but a coin that escaped into the world directly from the mint or from a sealed roll, retaining its full red luster, sharp strike, and clean surfaces, can command an exponential premium over circulated examples. A 1998 penny with rare errors and perfect preservation is like finding a flawless diamond, nearly impossible but life-changing if discovered. What makes the 1998 cent even more interesting is that it was minted during a transitional period for the Lincoln cent series, as the mint was preparing for the upcoming changes that would lead to the 2009 bicentennial designs. This was a time of high production, experimentation, and maintenance upgrades, meaning error potential was higher than usual. Mint employees working night shifts or dealing with machine adjustments might have overlooked slight misfeeds or press malfunctions that caused a few coins to be struck improperly. Each of those coins that survived the mint's quality control checks became an unintentional masterpiece, a glimpse into the fascinating imperfections of industrial precision. The mystery behind how certain 1998 pennies became so rare and valuable continues to intrigue experts, who sometimes debate whether certain errors were pure accidents or the result of overlooked die usage between proof and business strikes. For instance, the wide AM reverse die that was supposed to be reserved for proof coins made its way into a regular circulation batch at the Philadelphia Mint, creating this accidental variety. It's estimated that only a few thousand, perhaps even a few hundred, were ever made before the mistake was corrected. That low number instantly transformed the coin into a collectible phenomenon, because rarity plus demand equals astronomical value in the world of numismatics. The excitement of potentially finding such a coin in everyday change has fueled treasure hunts across the country. People have started rechecking their old jars of pennies, hoping to find that one special 1998 cent that could change their life forever. And stories of discoveries like these aren't just myths. There have been real people who unknowingly spent years holding on to coins worth thousands of dollars without realizing it. Some even found their rare coins in rolls purchased from banks or in inherited collections. When they later submitted these coins for professional grading and authentication, they were shocked to discover they owned one of the most valuable modern US cents ever minted. That's why it's so important for anyone interested in coin collecting to learn how to spot these subtle differences. The spacing between the letters in America, the details in Lincoln's I, the edge alignment, the weight, the color, the presence of any doubling or misalignment, all of these clues could point to an extraordinary error coin. Even small imperfections like die chips, cut breaks, where a portion of the die breaks off, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin, or struck through errors, where debris or grease interferes with the strike, can add hundreds or thousands of dollars to a coin's value if they appear in the right place on a rare date like 1998. The world of coin collecting thrives on these details, and it's that detective-like thrill that keeps enthusiasts searching. Every coin tells a story, and the 1998 1 cent tells a story of imperfection turned perfection, of oversight turned opportunity, and of ordinary turned extraordinary. What makes it even more captivating is that many of these million-dollar error coins could still be sitting unnoticed in circulation, tucked away in old wallets, drawers, or coin jars, waiting for someone with a keen eye to spot their uniqueness. Next 2001 cent coin, everyone to another thrilling and eye-opening episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, where ordinary-looking pennies that most people overlook in their change jars can actually turn out to be worth life-changing fortunes. And today we're uncovering the incredible and unbelievable story of the 2001 cent coin. A coin that may look like just another modern Lincoln penny, but because of its rare and shocking minting mistakes and manufacturing anomalies, it has been valued by collectors and auction houses at an astonishing $8 million, making it one of the most extraordinary and desirable error coins in the entire world of numismatics. And as we journey through its history, production, and the mysteries behind the errors that made it so valuable, you'll see exactly why something so small and so ordinary can become a true treasure of unimaginable worth, so stay tuned because what you're about to discover might just inspire you to start looking at your loose change with a completely new sense of curiosity and excitement. The 2001 cent coin belongs to the long and iconic Lincoln cent series that began in 1909, originally designed by Victor David Brenner, featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and, during this period, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. By the year 2000, billions of these coins had already been struck by the U.S. Mint, mostly composed of copper-plated zinc since the metal composition had been changed in 1982 from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc core due to rising copper prices. That year, both the Philadelphia and Denver mints were responsible for producing massive quantities of pennies for circulation, and despite technological advances in coining presses and quality control, perfection in coin production was still a dream rather than a guarantee. Amidst the billions of perfectly ordinary coins that rolled out of the mint's presses, a few extraordinary mistakes occurred, mistakes so rare and so dramatic that they transformed the 2001 cent from pocket change into a multi-million-dollar legend. The most famous and astonishing of these mistakes involves what collectors call the wide AM variety, a subtle but critical design difference that was never meant to appear on regular circulation coins. On normal business strike 2000 cents, the letters A and M in America on the reverse are spaced closely together, almost touching at their base. But on a handful of coins, a die intended for proof coins, those special, mirror-like coins made for collectors, was accidentally used for regular production, resulting in a noticeably wider gap between the A and M. This rare and unintended crossover between proof and business dies created the wide AM error, and its scarcity quickly made it one of the most desirable modern Lincoln cent varieties ever discovered. But what makes the 2000 wide AM even more valuable than its cousins from 1998 and 1999 is that in this particular year, the error occurred in a much smaller quantity, with some experts estimating that only a few hundred examples may exist. Many of those have since been lost, damaged, or remain undiscovered in circulation, making the surviving specimens incredibly valuable, especially in mint state red condition. However, that's just the beginning of what makes the 2000 cent worth millions. Beyond the wide AM variety, there are multiple extraordinary minting errors that occurred that year due to mechanical and die-related mishaps, creating a variety of rare anomalies that collectors prize above all else. Among them are double die obverse errors, where the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date, 2000, appear doubled because of slight misalignment during the die creation process. True double dies are caused when the die itself receives multiple impressions from the master hub at slightly different angles, producing that distinctive shadow-like doubling effect on every coin struck with that die. A true double die 2000 penny with a wide AM reverse and strong doubling on Lincoln's profile or the inscriptions would be an unprecedented find, a combination of two major errors that could make the coin's value soar into the millions, as collectors would fight intensely at auction for the opportunity to own such a unique piece of minting history. Another fascinating and extremely valuable type of error from 2000 is the wrong planchet strike, where a 1-cent design was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, such as a dime or a foreign coin. Because the U.S. Mint occasionally produced foreign coins or used shared machinery, planchet mix-ups could occur when leftover blanks from previous runs were not fully cleared before new production began. A 2000 penny struck on a dime planchet would appear silver-colored, smaller in diameter, and lighter in weight, with parts of the design missing or cut off by the smaller blank. Such errors are breathtakingly rare, and when they occur on modern coins, they can easily command 6- or 7-figure prices at auction, especially if verified by major grading services like PCGS or NGC. Imagine finding a 2000 wide AM Lincoln cent that's also struck on a dime planchet or one that shows doubling on the obverse. That combination could be valued at more than $8 million due to its one-of-a-kind rarity. There are also 2000 pennies known to have been struck off-center, where the blank planchet was not properly aligned with the dies, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted dramatically to one side. These off-center strikes, especially those showing a full date and mint mark while revealing a blank crescent of planchet, are particularly attractive to collectors. A severe off-center strike with other error characteristics, like die cracks, cuts, die breaks, or broad strikes, can dramatically increase the desirability of the coin. There have even been reports of 2000 pennies with partial collar errors, where the collar die that restrains the planchet during striking was misaligned or missing, resulting in coins with expanded rims or distorted shapes. These mechanical anomalies are evidence of real-time mistakes in the high-speed minting environment, and they tell a story of human error, machine imperfection, and a chaotic yet fascinating process of coin production. Another aspect that adds intrigue to the 2000 cent is the transitional period of U.S. Mint technology and procedures. Around this time, the Mint was experimenting with die life improvements, new alloys, and automated systems for die preparation. In some cases, older dies intended for proof coins may have been accidentally used in regular production presses due to logistical mix-ups or storage confusion. That's believed to be what caused the 2000 wide AM variety, a proof reverse die mistakenly paired with a business strike obverse die at the Philadelphia Mint. But imagine a scenario where more than one kind of die mix-up occurred, perhaps a leftover die from a previous year, like a 1999 wide AM, was used alongside a new obverse hub for 2000, resulting in subtle transitional anomalies. Such unique hybrids are the holy grail for collectors, because they represent a minting mystery that can only be confirmed by microscopic die study and pattern comparison. The 2001 cent has even sparked debates among experts who study die varieties about whether multiple reverse dies with proof characteristics were used that year or whether a single accidental die was responsible for all known examples. Each new discovery of a 2000 wide AM or other variant helps build that mystery further, and every confirmed specimen adds to the legend, and the value, of this coin. To understand why these coins can reach values as high as $8 million, we have to consider how rarity, condition, and demand combine in the coin market. The first factor is rarity. If only a few specimens of a particular era are known, their value naturally skyrockets. The second is condition. Coins graded MS68 or higher, meaning virtually flawless under magnification, are considered museum-quality examples and are often purchased by elite collectors and investors for astronomical sums. The third factor is collector demand. Modern errors like the 2000 wide AM have become extremely popular due to social media exposure, YouTube videos, and mainstream media coverage that make people aware of their existence. This global attention drives prices even higher because collectors and treasure hunters from around the world want a chance to own one. A coin that once might have sold for a few $1,000s can now reach millions if the right buyers are interested and the coin is verified as unique or record-setting. Auction history supports this trend. Coins like the 1943 copper penny, 1955 double die cent, and 1999 wide AM cent have each fetched staggering prices due to their rarity and story. The 2001 cent combines multiple fascinating elements. It's modern enough for people to still find in circulation, it has an era that's visually recognizable yet subtle enough to escape detection, and it sits at the intersection of technological precision and human fallibility. That combination of factors is what makes it so magnetic to collectors. But the fascination doesn't stop there. Next, 2021 1-cent coin. Everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing episode where we explore the fascinating and unpredictable world of rare and valuable coins, the kind of treasures that prove even the smallest piece of metal in your pocket can sometimes be worth millions. And today we're diving deep into the astonishing story of the 2021 1-cent coin that has shocked collectors and investors around the world after examples of this modern Lincoln penny were discovered with such bizarre and rare minting errors that their value skyrocketed to an incredible $7 million, making it one of the most extraordinary modern coins ever to exist. And what's truly unbelievable about this story is that these coins look so ordinary at first glance that many people might have already handled one without realizing they were holding a life-changing fortune. So get ready as we unravel the mysteries, the minting mistakes, the mechanical errors, and the mind-bending possibilities that have made this small copper-plated zinc coin one of the most valuable modern American coins of all time, because this tale is full of history, technology, and pure numismatic magic that will keep you hooked until the very end. The 2021 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln Shield cent, continues the modern design series introduced in 2010, which replaced the Lincoln Memorial reverse used since 1959. The obverse of the coin features the timeless bust of Abraham Lincoln originally sculpted by Victor David Brenner in 1909, while the reverse shows a bold Union shield with a scroll bearing the word 1 cent across it, representing Lincoln's preservation of the United States during the Civil War. By 2021, the U.S. Mint was producing these coins at an industrial scale, with billions struck each year at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities, using state-of-the-art equipment and high-speed presses capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute. With such massive production numbers, even the slightest mechanical or human error can create unexpected and extremely rare minting anomalies that slip through the quality control process and enter circulation, and it's these rare accidents that transform an everyday penny into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. The most famous and valuable 2021 1-cent errors discovered so far include the notorious double die obverse, die clash strikes, off-center errors, wrong planchet strikes, and even a mysterious transitional strike anomaly that some experts believe could only have occurred through a combination of mechanical malfunction and minting oversight so rare that it might never happen again. The most astonishing of all, however, is the 2021 double die obverse variety that exhibits clear and dramatic doubling on key details such as the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 2021, itself. Under magnification, this doubling gives the coin an eerie, almost ghostly appearance, with raised outlines and overlapping letters that appear slightly offset from each other. True double die errors occur during the hubbing process, when the working die receives multiple impressions from the master hub that are misaligned by just a fraction of a millimeter. These kinds of errors are not caused by post-strike damage or simple mechanical doubling, which are far more common and far less valuable, but rather by a rare misalignment in the die creation process itself, meaning every coin struck from that flawed die carries the same doubling feature. The 2021 double die obverse cent is so rare that only a few have been confirmed in mint state condition, and when paired with other striking anomalies such as off-center or partial color errors, the value of the coin can escalate into the multi-million-dollar range. Imagine finding a 2021 penny with deep, crisp doubling on Liberty and the date, perfectly preserved in red mint luster, with no scratches or handling marks. That coin could easily be worth over $7 million to the right collector or auction bidder, especially given the modern fascination with error coins and the growing number of investors seeking tangible collectibles with historical significance. But the 2021 penny's value isn't only about doubling. Another category of extremely valuable errors involves off-center strikes, where the planchet, the blank metal disc that becomes a coin, is not properly seated between the dies when struck, resulting in part of the design being missing or misaligned. Off-center errors can range from just a slight shift to dramatic examples where half the coin's design is missing and a blank crescent of the planchet is visible. The most desirable examples are those that are 50% off-center yet still show the full date and mint mark, as they perfectly illustrate the error while maintaining identification of the coin's origin. A 2021 1-cent struck 50% off-center with a visible date, strong luster, and sharp strike could easily command hundreds of thousands or even millions at auction, and if combined with other errors, such as doubling, die cracks, or wrong planchet strikes, it becomes exponentially more valuable. Speaking of wrong planchet errors, one of the most sensational 2021 1-cent discoveries involves coins struck on planchets intended for other denominations or even foreign coins. Occasionally, due to leftover blanks or mechanical feeding mix-ups, a penny design can be struck on a dime planchet, a nickel planchet, or even on a blank from another metal composition. These errors produce coins that are slightly smaller, lighter, or differently colored than normal. A 2021 penny struck on a dime planchet would appear silver-toned instead of copper, with parts of the design cut off around the edges due to the smaller blank. Such coins are so rare that when authenticated by major grading services like PCGS or NGC, they can reach prices well into the millions. A coin like this, especially one in pristine condition, can become the crown jewel of any numismatic collection, and when paired with the historic appeal of the 2021 mintage year, a time of major shifts in the U.S. economy and mint operations, its value only increases. Then there are die clash errors, which occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting part of each design onto the opposite die. When coins are later struck from these damaged dies, they display faint mirror-like images of design elements in places they don't belong, such as traces of the Union shield on Lincoln's portrait or parts of Lincoln's profile appearing on the reverse. Die clash errors are dramatic and fascinating to collectors because they visually capture a moment of minting chaos, a literal collision between two massive steel dies that were never meant to meet. In 2021, several die clash cents were reported, but the most valuable ones are those that show full and clear transfer of major design details, preserved in high mint state condition without significant wear. The combination of a strong die clash with other die anomalies, like cracks or cuts, raised blobs of metal where a piece of the die broke off, can further enhance the rarity and appeal. Some 2021 1-cent coins also display retained die breaks, where a fracture in the die created a raised line or chunk of metal on the coin's surface, giving it a rugged, distinctive appearance. These are sometimes called die cracks, and while minor ones are common, dramatic examples that run across Lincoln's face or through the date can bring significant premiums. Now, the most mysterious and hotly debated error associated with the 2021 penny is what some collectors call a transitional planchet strike, a phenomenon that occurs when the mint switches metal compositions or planchet suppliers, and a few leftover blanks from a previous composition accidentally get used. While there was no official composition change in 2021, some experts believe that experimental planchets or test strikes might have been accidentally mixed into regular production runs, resulting in a handful of 2021 cents struck on slightly heavier or lighter blanks with abnormal coloration or luster. A few reports suggest the existence of 2021 pennies with unusual silvery tones or off-weight measurements, which could indicate zinc-rich or copper-depleted planchets. If any of these are confirmed to be genuine transitional or test planchet strikes, their value could surpass $7 million easily, as they would represent a unique piece of modern minting history. The 2021 penny also saw the emergence of an interesting die variety related to the shield reverse design. Some coins display noticeable die deterioration, doubling or die wear in the lines of the shield, causing the details to appear distorted or thicker than normal. While most of these are minor and not worth much, a few examples of 2021 cents have shown what appears to be hub doubling on the shield itself, suggesting that a small number of working dies may have been improperly created. If a genuine double die reverse for 2021 were to be confirmed and paired with other rare features like a proof-like finish or off-metal composition, its value would easily reach multi-million levels. Another category of errors adding to the 2021 cents intrigue involves striking pressure and misaligned dies. Last 2014 D1 cent coin, to another fascinating and thrilling episode where we dive deep into the mysterious and lucrative world of rare and valuable coins, where ordinary-looking cents can turn out to be life-changing treasures worth millions, and today's story is about the incredible 2014 D1 cent coin. A modern Lincoln Shield penny that stunned collectors and experts alike after a few astonishing examples were discovered with rare minting errors so spectacular that their estimated value has reached as high as $6 million, making them among the most valuable modern coins ever to come out of the Denver Mint. And what makes this story even more amazing is how such a small and common coin, struck by the billions for everyday use, could hide such immense potential value in the form of minting mistakes so unique and rare that they defy logic and probability. So grab your coin jars, your magnifying glasses, and your curiosity, because we're going to uncover every detail about what makes the 2014 D1 cent coin so extraordinary, how these minting errors occurred, why they're so rare, and how just a few of these coins have become worth up to $6 million each, turning pocket change into priceless artifacts of American minting history. The 2014 D1 cent coin belongs to the Lincoln Shield design series, introduced in 2010 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's legacy and symbolize the unity of the nation he preserved during the Civil War, featuring on its obverse the familiar bust of Lincoln originally created by Victor David Brenner in 1909, while the reverse depicts a Union shield with a horizontal scroll inscribed with the words 1 cent across it, a design by Lyndall base sculpted by Joseph Mena. This design, although simple in appearance, carries deep historical symbolism and was struck in enormous quantities, billions of coins minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, using modern high-speed presses that produce hundreds of coins per minute. Yet, despite the mint's technological precision, errors can still occur, and in rare cases, those errors create coins so unique that their value skyrockets into the millions. In 2014, a small number of Denver Mint cents began attracting attention from collectors after reports emerged of unusual visual distortions, doubling on inscriptions, odd planchet colors, off-center strikes, and other anomalies that hinted at severe minting irregularities. These discoveries triggered a nationwide search among coin enthusiasts, with everyone from professional numismatists to casual coin roll hunters examining their 2014 D pennies for potential hidden treasure. The most valuable and well-documented of these errors is the 2014 D double die obverse variety, where the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and even the date, 2014, show clear and dramatic doubling under magnification. This doubling isn't the result of mechanical shift or die deterioration, which are common and typically worthless, but of a genuine hub doubling error, occurring when the working die received misaligned impressions during its creation. Each die used to strike coins begins as a blank steel cylinder that's imprinted by a master hub to carry the coin's design, and if that process misaligns even slightly between impressions, it creates a doubled image. Every coin struck from that flawed die carries the same distinctive doubling, and that's what gives the 2014 D double die obverse its immense rarity and value. When perfectly preserved in mint state red condition, with strong doubling visible to the naked eye, such a coin could fetch several $1 million at auction due to its uniqueness and the historical significance of the error in a modern coinage context. But that's just one type of error that makes the 2014 D cent so valuable. Another category of highly sought-after mistakes includes off-center strikes, where the planchet was not perfectly centered between the dies during striking, resulting in part of the design being missing. Depending on the degree of misalignment, the coin can display anything from a minor crescent-shaped blank area along one edge to a dramatic off-center appearance where nearly half the design is missing. The most desirable examples are those that are 50% off-center but still show the date and mint mark clearly, allowing easy identification while showcasing the full extent of the minting error. A 2014 D penny with such an off-center strike, especially one combined with a visible doubling or die crack, could command a staggering price among collectors, and a perfectly preserved specimen with multiple simultaneous errors could easily surpass $6 million due to its absolute uniqueness. Another rare and fascinating error type found among 2014 D cents is the die clash error, which happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting faint outlines of the opposing design into each die. When coins are later struck using these damaged dies, they exhibit ghost-like traces of design elements where they don't belong, for example, remnants of the shield on Lincoln's face or parts of his portrait faintly visible on the reverse. These coins visually tell the story of a mechanical mishap inside the mint, capturing an exact moment of chaos and imperfection in an otherwise automated process. Some of the most dramatic 2014 D die clash errors show deep and distinct transfer of design elements, and when those are paired with other die-related flaws such as cracks, cuts, or misaligned strikes, the result is a coin that's both visually captivating and historically significant. In some cases, collectors have identified retained die cracks, raised, jagged lines running across the coin caused by fractures in the die, and even full die breaks where chunks of the die surface broke away, leaving large raised blobs of metal called cuds on the finished coin. These features not only make the coin unique but also act as fingerprints of the minting process gone awry, further increasing their value. Then there's the highly mysterious and controversial error reported among a few 2014 D cents, the wrong planchet strike. This happens when a coin is struck on a blank meant for another denomination, typically due to a leftover planchet being fed into the press by mistake. For instance, a 2014 D penny struck on a dime planchet would appear smaller in diameter, lighter in weight, and silver-colored rather than copper-plated, with parts of the design missing along the edges. These wrong planchet errors are among the most dramatic and visually distinctive minting mistakes, and because they occur so rarely, each discovery attracts enormous attention. A genuine 2014 D penny struck on the wrong planchet, authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, could easily sell for millions, especially if combined with another anomaly like doubling or off-center strike. Some reports even suggest that a few 2014 D cents might have been struck on foreign or experimental planchets, possibly due to the use of test blanks during machine calibration, though such claims remain unverified. If proven true, those examples would be among the rarest U.S. coins ever minted. Beyond these spectacular physical errors, the 2014 D cent is also significant because of the timing of its production. In 2014, the U.S. Mint was operating at extremely high capacity to meet coin demand, producing billions of cents using zinc-based planchets with copper plating, which are notoriously difficult to strike perfectly due to their softness and thin coating. The intense production pressure, combined with the physical challenges of striking zinc-based blanks, increased the likelihood of die deterioration, plating blisters, and misfeeds, conditions ripe for creating unique and valuable minting errors. Some 2014 D cents exhibit plating issues such as bubbles, peeling, or missing copper areas that reveal the underlying zinc core, and while most of these are minor and not worth much, extreme cases where the plating failed dramatically can become quite valuable, particularly if they are visually striking and well preserved. One of the most unusual varieties associated with 2014 D pennies is the so-called floating roof or floating building effect, where the details of the design appear disconnected due to die wear or insufficient strike pressure. While more common in earlier memorial cents, some 2014 D examples display variations in strike strength that produce curious visual effects. When such features are combined with more serious errors like doubling or misalignment, the overall rarity and value increase exponentially. Another error that occasionally occurs during the minting process and adds to the fascination of collectors is the broad strike error, where the coin is struck outside the retaining collar, allowing the metal to expand outward, creating a larger-than-normal coin with slightly distorted design features. Broad-struck coins from the 2014 D series, especially those with off-center or doubling characteristics, have sold for astonishing prices at auction, and in mint state red condition, a unique example could easily be valued in the multi-million-dollar range. The true pinnacle of rarity, however,